often hear, well, you better go to school and get your education or you're gonna end up working at McDonald's, right? When we go out, if we're speaking or doing other things, the first thing is, I didn't know Black people own McDonald's. The second thing they say, oh, I didn't know women own McDonald's.
We do work in challenging communities. We're proud to be in the communities that we're in. We're privileged, quite frankly, to be there. I mean, do you want the long or the short answer? Together with my sister, I own and operate 18 McDonald's restaurants.
Kerri and her sister Nicole own every single McDonald's in the city of Compton, California.
Would probably be described as inner city neighborhoods.
They would be described as middle to lower middle income communities. Tremendous amounts of poverty, tremendous amounts of homelessness, and significant violence. It is unfortunate that our people find themselves in the position of having to call the police for a variety of different incidents, far more often than they deserve.
Their story begins with their parents taking a chance on a single franchise in the 80s.
My father worked for the Los Angeles Police Department and my mom worked for the state of California.
They decided to pull out of their retirement and invest in the fast food chain that was sweeping the nation.
And then unfortunately suffered a divorce, and my mom was actually able to buy my dad out of the McDonald's.
You see, at the time, Patricia Williams was a single African-American mother, so securing a loan was challenging. Her name wasn't even on the franchise agreement. It was her husband's.
My mother will tell you she faced two significant barriers. The first was with McDonald's, and she had to convince McDonald's that they should take a chance on her, that they should be willing to allow her to continue. And then the second largest barrier, really, she'll tell you, was in banking. So she really had to get a banking institution to believe that she could make the note.
And so she went all around to different banks, finally was able to secure a loan, and was able to turn things around.
By 1995, Patricia Williams had expanded from 2 to 5 restaurants. And from there, the Williams family was off and running.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Of use of the app, do people seem like it's pretty easy for them?
It's very easy.
I went and talked to my mom and, was saying, Mom, this is what I want to do. And she sat me down and she said, well, first of all, I know you're completely, overwhelmed with work from social services, but I want to let you know this is not going to be easier.
It took me a while. I will not pretend. I was kind of like fighting it, I think, a little bit. Like, okay, I've got this baby and this is cool, but no, I'm not. I want to be a lawyer. That's what I want to do.
From a lawyer and social worker to working fries.
I went from being pretty senior in the law, and I've really started at an entry-level position. And when I tell you those fries kicked my butt, those fries kicked my butt.
Kerri and Nicole found themselves in the same position that their mother was in the 1980s, taking a chance on a new career path.
It really shined a light for me on probably what my mother had in mind, why she was willing in the early 1980s to take that risk, because she knew that whether Nicole and I joined her in the business eventually or not, she was creating a legacy.
In 2019, Patricia Williams retired, allowing her daughters to continue on the legacy on their own.
Good morning.
Nicole.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Not only do we work in these communities, we live here. It's important to us to make sure that we're giving back, not just taking from the community.
We try to really get engaged and involved in our communities in a variety of different ways. Just to let people know we're privileged to be here. I live in Los Angeles, Nicole lives in Inglewood, not far from, our restaurants. We could choose to live elsewhere, but we don't.
You can put that in your bag, and then there's school supplies right around the corner.
Nicole and Kerri are part of the Black McDonald's Operators Association, a diversity group inside McDonald's that serves as a network of support for African-American owners and operators.
I think our current membership in Southern California is 7 McDonald's owner-operators, including Nicole and I. And we probably own and operate about somewhere in the neighborhood of about 50 restaurants. So we're pretty small here. Now, of course, as with all things in America, you go to the East Coast and you go to the South, there's a significantly larger presence of African American owner-operators. But, you know, again, as with most things, as you go farther west, there are fewer and fewer of us.
I did ask McDonald's for a gender and ethnicity ownership breakdown for California. Unfortunately, they do not release that type of information.
You know, my mom is a woman who was born in the 1940s in New Orleans, Louisiana, and never would have imagined that she could have come all the way out to California and achieve the level of success that she achieved.
Families can be successful together. It's great to be able to have learned and worked under my mom, and now to continue to be able to work closely with my sister. And it's our goal every single day to live up to the legacy that she's built.
Hey everyone, Cody Broadway here. Thank you so much for taking the time to check out the NBCLX YouTube channel. Be sure to click here for more videos, and also click here to subscribe to join the NBCLX community.